Awusiafo yi mo bibia akwaba Informer Mega TV and platform we eso Dr. Zaato any a political analyst but always biano ni kasa oka any ni biano. He speaks for Dr. Alhaji Bobia Ochen Dennis Miracle Sabwaji. Sansona Director of Communications Edema Alan Kojuchira Mantini Party UP United Party Yeura Solomon Owusu a clash. Sansona wa clash with ura ye friend Edudzi lawyer Edudzi Tamaklo CEO Edema National Petroleum Authority NDC abaimu na one of the NDC legal team members na wa bin papa mramu na omakashe on Pandai issues no what I say Pandai rail run enche yebeko nyekwa akoto aba na yehu de eko what I say Pandai rail run enche kra ebeko nyekwa akohu de eko na afi so enyo no kwa zip line issues nso arezi any health minister na right say na doctors bi kasa omo post omo ni sansensem komodidie no abusuafo yebeko nyekwa akutie sansen emu nchirimo ba na edi nkan mesro so do comment betum na wa like dwumadi na wa share na foforo enye bia hwe sansa hanom ewa number 1 authentic platform Mega TV yankopon kan ho na onhira papa mesro so be like dwumadi na wa share na foforo enye bia hwe.
Have you seen that the CEO and Solomon, their dresses are matching the yellow of the...
Look, it has red.
But he has yellow.
I was thinking that this morning, what you do is to tell the good people of this country that the road from Navrongo, Chana to Katu into the Sisala area, President John Dramani Mahama has put it under the big push.
I've done that.
Hold on. You should be singing that praise every day. Okay. Every day you get the opportunity to be on TV, you must say President John Dramani Mahama. The road from Navrongo to Chana, Katu, right into the Sisala area into Wa. You have put it under big push. Regardless of our politics.
It's not the only one.
Regardless of our politics.
It's not the only road. The one from Wa, Han, Jeffrey. It has also been done. And I'm saying
that they've been done.
They put it there. Yes. The last time I ran into the Minister of Finance here, I spoke to him. He said, yes, they release the money.
Our politics
I've always done
that.
To the Minister of Finance. I ran to the Minister of Finance here
when was that?
Some 3 weeks ago. And
I also the morning after
I also spoke to him and he said release, and I've done that. I also ran into Mr. Sohine here and I've done that. So thank you very much. I'm saying that
we are going to
thank you.
I just wonder. He was telling you to thank them first before you come and do the propaganda.
Also on Saturday, I actually sat here and I said that I wish that the tax cut they have done, they would have added it to the big push money. And you see, Agoza was saying that the money they gave him is not enough. Agoza was saying the money they gave him is not enough. So they added that.
I am particularly happy for that particular corridor.
It's very important.
It connects two major regions.
Yeah. Two major regions.
The upper east
and the upper west.
And then the upper
and even for national security reasons, it's so important that you see the EAG, they want that bridge is off. So if the bridge is off, every traffic to there must come through the west. So I'm really and the president they want to the Bole Bamboy one. Look, those things I've said. I am a big fan of the big push. And I pray and hope that the big push is completed. And I want it to be done. And when it is done, and I've said that I will give praise where praise is due. Let the big push be done.
Yeah, but you said, good morning to my brother Batagli.
Bataglia. Say Bataglia. Say Bataglia. That's the
Let me introduce you for Sisala is for the avoidance of doubt.
His name is Mohammed Bataglia.
Yes.
He says he'll be the next NPP.
Calm down.
Be calming down.
Coming down. And then I have the United Party Director of Communications right here, boss. How are you?
I'm good, Roland. It's very interesting how Zaato has all of a sudden.
He said he loves big push, but I know that as Senso watching. He says he doesn't like Kumasi.
So they call him
road.
They call him
expressway.
I think he's committed a political sin. No, that for the rest of his political
he will never come out of it.
He will be explaining himself, like the boys say. You go explain the experience. No evidence. Look, you see, in political,
so but he is
hold on.
He has also
in political communication, there are certain things you don't commit, and that's exactly what Asenso has done.
what he's done.
You see, when you tell a politician that you can't do this, that's why he will do it.
But what's wrong with the? He said he sent a direct message.
There's context in what Owusu said.
He says that
he concluded the statement.
Edudzi, let me pose it this way. Because from when I read the statement, and then subsequent, I think yesterday I even read something more from him. The premise of his argument, Edudzi, is that he feels that we're not in a good place financially, even though we're recovering as a country. So we need to cut waste or
There's
reduce waste.
in what he said.
So that's the argument.
Historically, when Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah decided to do the motorway, at that time, even Great Britain had issues with having such a motorway or expressway. The then opposition described the motorway as a luxury project. Why? Because at that time, the combined population of Ghana was just 6 million. Fast forward, we are 32 million. I mean, just look briefly, Ghana without the motorway, connecting Tema and Accra, for all these years, over 50 years of that project.
And we are now expanding the motorway.
We are now trying to, after 50 years, trying to expand it.
Yes.
Thankfully, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo put that expansion project,
and it's
300 million, and President Mahama had continued with it.
Beautiful. So there's a lot of policy continuation.
Absolutely.
In some cases, people are prepared to share credit.
President
I'll give you time to respond.
President Mahama, with the benefit of governance and having led before, decided that project commenced by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he will continue with speed and purpose. That is the kind of leadership we've always clamored for. Now, the point I want to make is that when Osajifo decided to do that project, the opposition then didn't think into the future and said it was luxurious, was it necessary? But Osajifo decided that let me do it for the sake of posterity. Today we look back and we say this is good. You see the concerns raised by Asenso.
He says that we should cut waste. That's his argument.
I always say this, Doc, can we not walk and still chew corn?
We can and we should.
Solo, can we not walk and still chew corn?
Sure.
Chew gum, don't say corn. Do you walk and chew gum?
Let me say corn.
Yes.
I like corn.
Yes, you can walk.
You can be walking and be chewing corn.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Asenso, we can be fixing the project you have concerns about, and at the same time do this expressway. The two are not mutually exclusive. The doing of one does not mean you cannot do the other. And so that statement he put on paper to President John Dramani Mahama will continuously hurt his politics for the rest of his political distance. Because President Mahama is determined to do the expressway. How many kilometers is it? All you have to do is to give it out in lots. And within, it will be done. No. And they are financed for it.
When it
will be done.
But you support Asenso budget.
When it comes, let me.
No,
when it comes
he got it so wrong.
I am a big fan of the big push. Specifically, I'm a big fan of the big push from Wa all the way to Chichilega. I'm a big fan. If they want to put rail, whatever you want to put there, I'm a big fan. I support it 200%. Now, a policy maker who was also a minister of rail has come out with a statement. After all, I've not read it very well. I don't know the nuances involved. But I think that's something that we have to contextualize it. What I know is that we need roads and we need better roads, we need this. And so between from here to Kumasi, if it is dualization, hallelujah. If it is expressway, hallelujah. Whatever it is, we need to get that road expanded. We need to get that road done better. It will cut down travel time between two of Ghana's biggest cities. It will save lives. It will improve our economy. So the context and the nonsense here, I leave them. But at the end of the day, if we wake up 3 years from this, 4 years from this, and see that that road is completed, whether expressway, whether whether dualization, no matter how it ends, I'll be glad. But I'm also sometimes happy that when the debate is about policy,
yes,
I love that. Because this is a policy maker, a former minister of rule, who has put his ideas literally on paper, as you've said. That means that we can now read them, we can contextualize it, and sometimes history
But you
will
see,
judge.
the bottom line is that he thinks that President Mahama should do this and not this.
It's okay.
That's
He's a
bottom
politician,
line.
and that is what he thinks his ideas. And probably if he was president today,
Ashanti,
maybe that is how he will prioritize it. The question
can you imagine the
3 years
most
after today,
powerful
3 years
towns
after today,
connecting
the
them.
people of Ashanti and Ghanaians in general will then have both concepts. They will have a Asenso statement, they will have the government statement, and they will say which one of them delivered. Ghanaians will do that, and when that time happens, they will deliver a verdict.
The truth of the matter is that when you go into Ashanti history, there is a particular person whose name is always mentioned. That name is called Kwame Tua. Kwame Tua was someone that, as it were, sold the people of Ashanti. He was always leaking information.
With the British.
With the British. So in Ashanti history, anytime you hear the name Kwame Tua, yes, it means someone that is working against the development of Ashanti. And they say Asenso Boakye has now become the Kwame Tua of Ashanti region. You see, a couple of months ago,
Prosper is watching us.
Isn't that very harsh?
a couple of months ago,
one day you
we have Gabi Asarochu that could go to the UK and make a statement to the extent that when some of them were discussing the idea of getting Ashanti interchanges here and there, we had some MPs in Ashanti who were kicking against that. But
was it true?
No, but what Asenso has done is an ample testimony that a big project like this, you say from a technical point of view, what technical point of view? You did planning, I did land economy. What technical point of view? Is the most useless recommendation to be given by any useless a recommendation. President Mahama must not listen to the likes of Asenso.
He had not listened.
If he has any intention of listening,
it has been thrown into
the politicians of our time who are kicking against the development of Ashanti will be resistant with the last bloodiness. Asenso cannot.
Thankfully, he doesn't speak for Ashantis.
That's the point I'm making this morning, that the Kwame Tua and him will be taken out. Expressway, you know how people are dying on that route. If by miraculous design, the current administration says they want to engage or embark on an expressway, you better write and thank them. You see, that is where our politics must get to. And that is why this morning I'm happy that Zaato is praising this administration. I've said that our politics must move a notch higher. That when something is going right, praise them. When they are doing something wrong, call them out. That is what any responsible opposition party does. Not what Asenso Boakye has done. So for me, if the president is not going to listen to that, I trust the judgment of my brother Edudzi here, that the president is not going to listen. They will do it. I see the fear of Asenso. Asenso must not be worried. The United Party has come. We have what it takes to fight this current NDC. As for the NPP, is a goner, but we will stand in and fight the NDC.
I have a particular interest in that project. You know, my in-laws are from Kumasi.
Of course, you are a Kumasi boy.
So I have a personal. In fact, I went to the Rose Minister personally. I said, Minister, give me all the assurance that this expressway is.
But you know, you connect 3 regions: Greater Accra, Eastern, and Ashanti.
He said, look, it is going to.
And it's also going to connect the northern sector of this country. So why would you not advise Asenso that what he did was wrong?
You should withdraw the letter.
No, and apologize to the people.
What makes you think I have access to him?
As you are doing this morning, is he not hearing?
What makes you think that I have access to him?
So that questions how he was made the minister of roads and highways.
Drink some water.
Let me drink it.
Today happens to be my very good brother, our Western Regional Communication Officer, Richard Keck Mensah, his birthday. So I think it's exactly at the corporate affairs, and today happens to be his birthday. So let me use your platform, esteem platform.
Brother, happy birthday to you.
Bleda. We'll meet in Takrady on 2nd.
Okay. But the appeal by Martin Yindam and his legal team, what do you make of it in the first place as director of the legal directorate of the NDC?
Okay, so I want to look at it in this context. The laws of this country allows a person who is not happy with the outcome of parliamentary election to have that challenged. I think I need to put a certain historical context to it, maybe factual. If you recall, immediately after the declaration, our candidate, Daniel Nsala, went to the court, the High Court in Tamale. When he filed the petition, lawyers for Mr. or Honorable Matthew Nyindam actually applied to the court to have it struck out as being premature. And their contention was that at that time, our candidates should have waited for the gazetting of the result before mounting the petition action. So quickly the lawyers withdrew the petition so filed and waited until the Electoral Commission itself now gave an indication that on the 6th of January, this is the Gazette notification. So in an affidavit deposed to by Matthew Nyindam himself, he attached what he claimed to be the Gazette by the Electoral Commission. He attached it to his application. Now, this application that Matthew Nyindam actually put before the court, subsequent to that, the MP, that's the NDC parliamentary candidate, now issued a fresh, yes, now issued a fresh petition after this Gazette. And if you look at the deposition by Matthew Nyindam, one of the things that he said in his affidavit in support, which is sworn to, and you see, when we say deposition, you swear to. What it means is that if you lie, you risk perjury. Now, in the deposition that he put before the High Court, one of the things that he said is that I just want to read, that available records show that the parliamentary election results of 7 December 2024 nationwide, including that of Pandai constituency, were published in the Gazette or gazetted by the Electoral Commission on 6 January 2025. Attached hereto and marked as Exhibit this is the page of the Gazette relative to Pandai constituency, a soft copy attached hereto. So pursuant to this, the NDC candidate then withdrew the application, the petition, and refiled it based on the 6th of January Gazette notification. Now, after the High Court in Tamale had delivered its judgment, after calling witnesses, both the Electoral Commission came to testify, he himself testified, through his witnesses, and our candidate equally testified. The High Court judge in Tamale delivered the judgment. Now you are the Supreme Court saying that at the time the NDC candidate filed the petition, the 21 days gestation, the 21-day period had elapsed. And for that matter, the High Court was bereft of jurisdiction.
What's your opinion? That there's no merit in this?
Completely without merit. Because, hold on, I've just read the affidavit
in
deposed to by Nyindam, where he himself swore to the court that on my honor, the Pandai Gazette relative to Pandai constituency declaration is 6th of January. Now you are before the Supreme Court, now telling the Supreme Court that no. It is not on the 6th. I lied.
Edudzi, I'm surprised at your position
because and that I have engaged. Hold on, I have engaged in perjury. And so when look, the deposition is before a superior court, the High Court. Always remember that an application for certiorari is a discretionary remedy. So even when you have satisfied all, the court can still deny you based on your conduct. And when you have deposed to an affidavit telling the High Court subsequently that I lied, that when I told the High Court in my affidavit that the declaration and the gazetting was on the 6th of January 2024, I peddled on truth before the High Court. I mean, how can you do this? And I'm surprised.
Because, you know, the reason I was questioning was that this follows greatly what the minority leader had also espoused in that his press conference and thought that the judiciary, based on his position and his assessment, was becoming almost like one that was being controlled or manipulated.
You see, when I heard my learned senior Afenyo Makin make that statement and described the whole thing as kangaroo, I felt pain within me. Look, I am not speaking about somebody's lived experience. My own experience. Look, I recall vividly our MP for Asenov, Jachi Kwesen.
The Deputy Foreign
Yes.
Minister, okay.
At the time Jachi Kwesen, this thing came. Remember that we're going to have the speaker's election on the 6th of January, the 9th. So,
of 2021.
Yes. The High Court judge
2024
in Cape Coast, there was supposed to be a demonstration in Winneba. So the High Court judge in Cape Coast was given a special warrant, listen carefully, was given a special warrant to go and hear an injunction application to restrain the NDC supporters. Then they brought an ex parte application for injunction to restrain Jachi Kwesen. When the judge saw it, he said, oh, this one they should come on notice because you are seeking to restrain a member of parliament duly elected. Guess what happened? Our law firm represented Mr. Jachi Kwesen. Myself and my senior Amaliba worked on that thing.
The case?
The case. So we quickly filed affidavit in opposition to the injunction application before the High Court judge in Cape Coast. Guess what happened? We were clear because we had raised certain critical constitutional issues. That one, Article 94, which has to do, he owes allegiance to no other country but Ghana, requires constitutional interpretation. But because the last time it came up was Bilson and Rawlings, where the High Court judge took the view that the question as to whether a person owes allegiance to a country other than Ghana simply means that you cannot stop Jerry Rawlings from contesting the 1992 election because in your view, Bilson's claim was that Rawlings' father was a Scottish and therefore he was a dual national. The High Court judge, Bonzi, took the view that having served in the Ghana army and having become head of state for almost 11 years, it was ridiculous for anybody to now come and say that Jerry Rawlings was a dual national and for that man. So we felt that this was an opportunity for the Supreme Court to construe what it means when you say a person owes allegiance to a country other than Ghana. So in our affidavit in opposition, we raised those constitutional matters. Guess what? The day we went to the High Court on the 6th of January in the morning for the ruling on the injunction, we got to court only for the judge to say that he's granted the injunction. Listen, no. He's granted the injunction to restrain Jachi Kwesen.
Was he untoward?
From 1972, even Moro, Igala, and the rest, there had never been any instance where, prior to the hearing of an election petition and concluding, the MP-elect had been restrained. Because we did the legal research. There was no search. Guess what? The judge restrained us. And this is where it gets interesting. But the day before, I had a senior party officer called me and said, Edudzi, I've worked within the national security setup. My intel shows that the injunction will be granted. So I said, senior, it cannot be. He said, no, Edudzi, leave that one to me. I've worked with the national security of this country. This is where my intel within government sources. So the injunction will be granted. So prepare. So myself and my senior prepared our notice of appeal and stay of execution before we went to court in Cape Coast. So while the judge was reading, while the judge was reading the injunction ruling, we quickly stepped out to go and file the notice of appeal and the stay of execution. The registry was close to us. We couldn't even get the opportunity to file the notice of appeal.
You mean the registry was closed or the registrar was not around?
Look,
none of the court registries?
And you see, what we have seen in this country, my learned senior Afenyomakin had no idea.
Oh, you can't make those comments.
No, he has.
You know that he's a senior to you at the bar.
Oh, completely.
He's
and
been
I
a long
respect.
standing.
Oh no, he himself
so
knows.
So you cannot make those suggestive comments.
Look, I respect his law. I respect his law. But he has no idea what a kangaroo judiciary looks like. He has no idea.
I mean, he hasn't gone through those experiences.
He's never even gone through that experience. Why do I say so? Look, I have always maintained that my learned senior is a very privileged person. Do you know why I say that? In Jachikwesin, I saw the other side of the law. Look, we'll leave Accra morning by 5 a.m. with Mr. Chachuchikata and our then national chairman, Chairman Ampofo, to the High Court. You know, then there was a court of appeal sitting in Cape Coast. We'll file stay of execution application before the High Court. Yes, I will. Before the High Court in Cape Coast, the Court of Appeal in Cape Coast. You even go there with Mr. Chachuchikata and unanimous by court, application for stay, so and so, dismissed. In fact, one thing that caught my attention, and I'll conclude on this. We had raised an issue in our notice of appeal and others. We've raised an issue that the matter on Jachikwesin, which borders on Article 94, required the Supreme Court interpretation. So we made a prayer before the Court of Appeal in Cape Coast that, my lords, because there's an interpretation matter, by reason of Article 132, we plead that you stay your proceedings and refer that constitutional matter to the Supreme Court for interpretation. Do you know what happened? The Court of Appeal in Cape Coast denied us the opportunity. Said no, the application was without merit, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what happened? The same matter that the Court of Appeal refused us, we now went for a certiorari application at the Supreme Court to say that what the Court of Appeal did was untoward. The Supreme Court denied us the opportunity. Now, lo and behold, we were there, the same plaintiff whose lawyers has resisted any application for referral to the Supreme Court, now issued a fresh writ at the Supreme Court asking for interpretation, and the Supreme Court assumed jurisdiction over it.
Well, to you as an experienced lawyer, that's not good.
So you see,
is that no?
So when I hear my senior Afenyomakin made a point that what we are seeing is a kangaroo, I said, look, senior, you have no idea what we have lived. This is our lived experience. Look, imagine somebody like Senior Chachuchikata. You will leave Accra by dawn, 5 a.m. And by 7, we are in Cape Coast Court of Appeal. We're just being tossed here and there, until finally the Supreme Court, which had earlier in an application for referral refused us, now says they have jurisdiction to interpret Article 94 relative to Jachikwesin, which eventually led to them, saying that he is not qualified to be in Parliament. Then we had to go for the by-election in
And so your contention
Asino.
is that...
So my contention is that we've not even gotten to the point where anybody can describe what has happened in the Matthew Nyindam, conversation as a kangaroo judiciary. No, it is not a fair assessment of...
I want to build on where he just landed. So it's obvious that depending upon where you stand, where you're sitting, you have serious problems with the court.
I don't understand.
From what he just said, when they were in the position, they didn't get justice, or they saw the other side. He kept saying the other side. He's a practicing lawyer, probably he doesn't want to go to the other side. He kept talking about the other side of the judiciary. He's not mentioning, but you can read from him. He's saying that there were things that happened to them because they were in opposition. That is what you get.
Is that your understanding of mine?
That's my understanding. That's my understanding. What he's saying. Now, you've also heard Afenyomakin also saying that there are things happening to them now that because they are in opposition, it looks like kangaroo court. We now have a situation in this country, which is where we've got to right now, that if you are in government, you almost always agree with what the courts are saying.
You think that's why Edudzi is doing?
Almost all the time. And then if you are in opposition, you almost always think that the courts are out to get you. My question is, that cannot and should not be justice. Justice should be, it shouldn't matter whether you are in government or whether you are in opposition. It shouldn't matter where you stand. It should matter that people should be able to read judgments and be able to, it doesn't matter. People going to court should be able to say that, look, it doesn't matter where I am, I'll get justice. But so far, it doesn't seem to be that. That's my number one thing. Number two, politicians in Ghana, and especially MPs, are almost always hell-bent on politicizing the court. And they've done that successfully over the years. And now, sometimes it's funny, they themselves, sometimes led by lawyers, they politicize the court, and then immediately after that, they are the same people who will run to the media to now talk about politicization of the court. When the NDC was in position, there were even times where they will march up at the court. You've seen that. You've seen MPs literally march to the court. What are you doing marching up to the court? It's a form of political intimidation. We've seen that. Now we've seen a similar thing happen again now, that when they did that, NPP that was in power, they said, they criticized it. Today, a similar thing is happening. The same NDC MPs are now in parliament. They are okay. Is the MPP who are now also marching up to the courts.
So what do you think should be the status?
My point is that why there has to be something in the water that when these people drink, that it makes them behave this way, or is it that do they have reasons to believe that when they are in opposition, either party, that they don't get justice? Do they have a reason to believe that? If they do, then something must be done, especially since they are the lawyers. There's no people who go
during the period of the Zaato clâshed case, were you in Ghana or you were in Canada?
Yeah, I was in Ghana. In Ghana.
What did you make of the seemingly some of the instances that had been portrayed on public discussion platforms at the time, and then also that he had made reference to on this table, in terms of how the processes of whether it was filing or also using the various tools or that you have within your remit as a lawyer or somebody who is a plaintiff, again, to be able to seek some remedies?
As a non-lawyer, I don't want to go into some of these intricacies. Then
I'm not asking you to comment on substantive cases.
Yes.
I'm talking about the public opinion items that became very key in people forming their judgments.
Okay, so this is
about
the point.
How, let's say, Zaato clâshed case was.
That's where I'm coming. It seems to me. Again, I'm making it broader because I cannot be very specific because I don't know the nuances.
You said you were in Ghana.
I was in Ghana. But he was in the court and he has privileged information. He was in the arena. He had privileged information. I don't have, because if probably the only person that could speak counter to what he's saying will probably be the opposing lawyer. Then he too could say, me too, I was there. I wasn't there, so I cannot be that specific. I agree with you. I'm not privileged with that information, so I cannot be that specific. That's why I'm talking about the general issues that we look. Everybody agrees that we need some legal reforms. So why is it not happening? If all political parties have not agreed, those who have ruled this country, say that when they are in opposition, they don't get justice and fairness, but it seems when they are government, they get. Why is it that? That is something that the Ghana Bar Association does, especially we now have a new Chief Justice, and the Chief Justice who is likely going to be there for a year. He has a lot of work to do to try to demystify it, if it's a mystery, or to try to depoliticize the court, because we have no other option. And I know that politicians will not do that. But there's one thing that always worries me, that the same, and I want to talk about it, and Edudzi is here. How come a judge, then after all the arguments, you say, okay, I'll give a ruling on Monday. They will come on Monday, he said, this is my ruling, but I'll give you the reasons on Friday. Why?
It happens.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
So let me give you a classic example. You know, in the year 2020, the Electoral Commission decided that they will change the old voters' card. So I was counsel for the NDC, and we went to the Supreme Court. When we went to the Supreme Court, the court heard all the arguments and gave its orders and deferred its reasoning to another day.
I'm saying it's common. It's one of my point. Why?
It's a norm.
My question: why? Because I don't understand it.
It's a norm.
Why do they do that?
So you don't raise why?
I am.
The judge will give the orders and defer the reasoning to another time.
Why?
It's a norm.
Good. My point is, why can't the judges do both? Issue the and give the reasons on the same time. Is it a matter of time?
No. I was surprised that my senior Afenyo Markin then raised issue.
Recently,
this Kwabna Edubwai,
yes,
he went to the Supreme Court to challenge a decision by the High Court judge on disclosures. You recall?
Yes.
The day they went to the court, the Supreme Court delivered its ruling, refusing the Sessorara application and the prohibition, and deferred its ruling to another day. So it's a normal.
Again, I'm not saying it's normal, and I'm not saying it's associated with one particular.
I want to know why.
I'm saying that they keep doing that. Why?
Okay.
Because see, as an academic, I get a paper to review, a manuscript to review. If I'm rejecting it, I don't send it back to the editor and say, I'm rejecting this but give me 2 months or 1 month, I'll come back and tell you why.
Because you have to write a judgment.
Exactly. No,
but you have to write a judgment.
So is it a matter of time?
Same
My
like
question is it a matter of time? Is that why they delay? Is it a matter of time?
They have to write the judgment.
I agree. So is it time they want? Is that why they give one and give later? If it's time, you are the judge. If I know that I cannot give my reasoning in 1 week, I'll postpone the case.
Is it your thought that perhaps you think that period where that vacuum is created creates some tension?
It creates a lot of room for wild
speculation
and conspiracy theories. And now my argument then is that grace period leaves for people to now wait until, and that also contributes to undermining of the judiciary, because now we are talking about something that we don't know. All of a sudden, look at, I saw almost everybody when this Jody Lumba's this came.
Yes.
When people were, but the moment it came, we're like, wow, this so far everybody said this an excellent. So my question is, couldn't both had happened if it was time that was restraining the woman? If she couldn't do it at that time, why couldn't? So I think that the judges or the judicial system is not doing itself any good by creating this amount of room for people to now conjecture, for people to now come with conspiracy theories, and then you come out. It's not that. But thirdly, I'm coming to the actual case we started, because again, I'm not allowed to.
That's the
Nyendam case. For me, it seems increasingly our political system, electoral system is beginning or always trying to reward hooliganism at coalition centers. When we started this democratic experience, the problem was snatching of ballot boxes. You realize that. All of a sudden, that has disappeared. Nobody is trying to snatch a ballot box again.
It happened in the last election.
Yes, I'm saying it's almost
even in 2020.
It's not a major issue now. The reason why I'm saying this is because the reforms we've done as a electoral process have come to make snatching of ballot box almost redundant. Because even if you snatch the ballot boxes, all the candidates have their pink sheets. It's also being recorded. So the violence is now, and the hooliganism is now moving to what? Coalition centers. In all of that, so if you look at almost all the things, people storm, because if there are 5 police stations in this constituency, and by the time, sometimes because of the distance and everything, by the time we are going to the coalition center, I know what I'm winning or losing. One, no winning candidate will storm a coalition center to stop voting, to stop counting, because he already has his pink sheets that he's winning. It's possible only losing candidates and their people storm coalition centers to prevent this from happening. My point is that, and in this particular case that we're seeing in them, if you see who stormed the police station, who stormed the coalition center, and there are videos to show that it was NDC people in the pickup who stormed the place, necessitating the moving of those positions to Tamale. It shall be declared there. My point is that if we don't do something, national security, election security, all IPAC and everything, we must be able to provide coalition centers as fortified security zones. Make it almost impossible and impenetrable to prevent hooligans from storming that place to disrupt. If not, almost every losing candidate will copycat. We shouldn't let Pandai be the test case, be a copycat case. We shouldn't let losing politicians in our elections copy what happened in Pandai, because if we let that happen, we are going to see those cases. So for me, this should be something one of the things we should learn to make sure that from now onwards, let's create coalition centers that are impenetrable, that makes it almost impossible for anybody to storm and disrupt it. If that had happened, if the security and safety, that is why, look, in this, sometimes I always say, I praise the police for what they are doing. But in this particular case, the police did not cover themselves in glory with what happened in Pandai. Because once you allow people to penetrate there and do this, they didn't do well. So going forward, our national security, our police and election task force must be able to ask themselves, how can we create coalition centers that are so safe and secure that we do it? Because if we do that, we will not be where we are today. Okay. And that is the only lesson we can do, because if not, we will be rewarding hooliganism.
And you know, in the instant case of the Pandai situation, we had a storming in, so not all the pink sheets and the various ballot papers for the polling stations were added to the initial one. So 41 was under contention at the time. Now, we've come to a substantive issue where even the minority leader goes on to make a statement about the judiciary, which puts its reputation into disrepute. When we know that over the last, I have to say, 2 years, the performance of the judiciary had been a subject of public scrutiny in the eyes of the public opinion. So how do we just oppose that with us? His opinion and the outcome of this?
First of all, we shouldn't allow the NPP to set the agenda for anybody.
You mean, you think that's what they are doing?
That's what they are doing, especially Afenyo. We should not allow him to set any agenda for anybody.
Okay,
because you see, the facts do not support what he sought to do the last time. I've said that his weak leadership is what has collapsed the NPP. The truth of the matter is that in April of this year, April 2025, there was a ruling from the same High Court involving the Obuasi East parliamentary issue. Is that not the case? Remember, the returning officer in Obuasi East had originally proclaimed the NDC candidate as the winner, Samuel Abuaji of blessed memory, as the winner of election 2024. When he went to court, judging by the argument of Zaato and Afenyo and co, it means the court should have upheld what was proclaimed at the constituency level, if the court was that biased. But the court said no. In spite of the fact that the returning officer proclaimed the NDC candidate as the winner, the facts did not suggest so, so they overturned it and made Wachiyado as the winner of that election. At that time, I didn't hear NPP and this minority go and make any press conference to say that indeed the said judge was what?
The kangaroo judge.
Kangaroo judge also.
But why is this an
was playing to the gallery? Now, I just want to disprove this fact that that has not been the case. Cases have gone to court where NPP has won some. This one is not even a victory to anybody. He said, rerun. Who has won in this Banda case? The court say go back and have another election. Say someone has won.
Well, they are contesting it.
Yeah, but the point is that in Sawam too, you remember in Sawam Adwajiri, did the matter not go to court? Judging by what Afenyo did, it means the court is a kangaroo court, so it should have affirmed the position of the NDC. What did the court say? Did the court not say that Anodompe won? Did we hear the NPP come and organize such a bogus press conference to disturb the peace of everyone? In any case,
a whole minority leader.
In any case, like Edudzi has said, this whole case, they filed it somewhere in December before they withdrew. In December, who was the president of this country? Was it not the NPP? So it started from their time. It started under the embattled or removed Chief Justice. They assigned some of these judges by his utterance. Is he saying that the judge that was assigned during the Eswal administration was also a kangaroo judge that was deliberately put there to do mischief? That cannot be the case. You went to court. And let me say that we must not sacrifice or shortchange the will of the people under any circumstance. That people wake up early in the morning to go and queue to vote for a particular candidate. Now, a returning officer who is influenced sits somewhere and then shortchange the will of the people. Is that what you want to promote? Nobody must entertain that. So that if an election is held and any person feels aggrieved, elections are governed by rules and laws. So that the returning officer flaws anything, you, the affected person, must not pick arms. You must challenge the status quo. Go to court. But have you forgotten that Afenyo, who organized this press conference, was urging us to be going to court? Go to court. If there is anybody who has benefited substantially from our judiciary, Afenyo, he could go to court.
You can't make this allegation.
He could go to court.
So you can't make this allegation.
12 o'clock, by 3 o'clock, he has an answer. In fact, he was able to call the Supreme Court to a panel on a Friday in the history of our court. And he's the same person bastardizing the judiciary.
But there were officials of the judiciary who made those decisions.
You see, when you are led by someone...
See, like Solo is saying, no, I mean, it's important we bring clarity to this. Like Solo says, look, I have practiced small. At least I'm in my 12th year.
It's enough.
Look, I have never, in the last 10 years, seen the Supreme Court sit on Friday. I've never.
Or impaneling in 2 hours or 3 hours?
Look, not only that. You have a situation where a person issues a writ by 12 noon. By 2 p.m., 2 hours later, there is already a pronouncement, a panel. When was the last time you saw that?
So let me come in.
And nobody described what happened in that time as kangaroo. Nobody.
So Afenyo cannot
privileged
be the measure. Someone who will be preaching us about kangaroo.
He's senior to Edudzi.
No, but if you are seen, there are a lot of seniors around who are just behaving in this country.
Executioners don't lie supinely.
He's senior to Edudzi.
There are a lot of seniors whose cases might be withdrawn. A senior who goes to conduct a press conference without any evidence. At the time he was organizing that press, or he was reading his press release or press statement, he said he had not seen the judgment. So based on what was he commenting? You have not even read the details of the judgment, yet you were concluding. After concluding, the very institution that you have bastardized, you went back and claimed that your appeal is with them. As we speak, where have they gone? Is it the Supreme Court? Is the Supreme Court not part of the judiciary? The very institution that you claim is a kangaroo institution, you are still back there. You are going there to ask it to quash a whole ruling. Based on technicalities, it tells me that the NPP has realized that on the substantive case, they have no issue.
Why do they not have issue? You saw Martin Yindam, he says that he's still the MP substantially also. Well, he's ready for a rerun.
He's not ready.
He's very confident.
He's already.
You know the voting pattern, the differences, Solomon Owusu.
I mean historically, if you look at the records, the NDC has held that seat the longest. I mean,
from Honorable Tawiale,
yes, and the longest. So I'll be very surprised. I'm coming, and so
the caretaker MP.
The NPP is afraid, especially where their internal flag bearership has also divided the party to the.
You think the party is worried because of their internal?
Ninam and the Northern Caucus MPs have aligned with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
But what's wrong?
So the problem here is that how are you going to get the lives of Brian and then Japan, especially where they have moved from sinners business to medical conditions to now motherfucker? Did you hear that?
No, on the campaign trail. On the campaign trail.
Motherfucker. These are the motherfuckers that are in the court.
But that's a campaign talk.
That is so. Did I tell you? Atache, an elder of the, he's an elder of the church. Oh. He's telling you that we are going to hear motherfucker.
Are we still talking about Kwanda?
He's making reference to one of the candidates.
Who is that?
It's Ken he was referring to.
So if you are calling Ken motherfucker, how is he going to go to Kwanda?
But that is sanitary language that he was using against to score political points.
And it's been condemned. I didn't expect an elder to be saying that, to be repeating that.
So you are saying that because of the division in the party?
In the NPP primary, there have been scenes of the various candidates.
So the point is
that. The upcoming DC primary say we've not talked about that.
So
today you will not allow me to speak.
Gentlemen.
Did I come here to ask it what you people?
Okay. So are you making claims?
Yes.
Which I think you are not substantiating.
To
regroup. No. Is that going to do playoffs again?
That's the point.
And you are saying they can't gather the right players.
The point is that the Brian faction, the Kennedy faction would never join this campaign.
Yindam's campaign.
Are you sure? Especially when Dr. Mahmoud
Bawumia just left the NPP about 2 weeks ago, and you are here saying
has promised them that he would deliver the Northern votes. So the Ken and the Brian campaign, the camps are saying that you said to the entire world that any election in the Northern region, you would deliver it for the NPP. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia go and deliver the Kwanda seat. That is the bane of contention here. That is why they are doing everything possible to use technicalities to quash the ruling.
You are making claims that they are undertaking legal gymnastics.
It's legal gymnastics.
Apparently, Roland, they are waiting for Yindam to lose the Pandai seat.
Yes.
And then they'll
Why you think the NDC will win the seat?
Hold on.
For a rerun, if it should be substantiated.
They'll add it to the 11th sin of Dr. Bamia, failure to deliver Pandai seat.
Roland,
You understand? Because now, hold on. Of all the candidates NPP is
Today they have not made me to speak.
for the January 2026, January 31st, 2026 presidential primary.
You want to follow
that
Joshua?
each of the candidates has sins. And it's not one. Some 10 sins, 15 sins. Yours will be like 20 sins. Zaato's 20 sins. Bamia's 10 sins. Brian Champion's 15 sins. Educhum's, So,
but you, Dennis, are you ready? You've seen the margin. It's all in excess of 3,000. I think when I watch.
No, I want to say something.
It's in excess of 3,000.
we want it done. We are ready for the by-election.
So anytime you want
the people who have applied for stay and they are in the Supreme Court of Appeal, they are not ready.
Roland, I'm really happy that this morning, Dr. Bawumia is living rent-free in Solomon's hired and hard.
Oh, how?
He's doing that. I'm happy that
How did I? But Roland, the point is no. I was on the floor. How did you allow them to come in?
We were talking about it. All of a sudden, you've ended. So I'm happy that
I know part of the discussion.
Look, the point I'm making is it coming down all this to Pandai. All I'm saying
is MPP ready for a rerun?
I don't.
How don't you know?
All I'm saying is this. I pray and hope that we do not reward violence and hooliganism. I pray and hope that we learn serious lessons from this and do not make Pandai a test case for other losing candidates.
Do you think that if this is upheld, where we need to have a rerun, just like the judgment of the High Court is, NPP will win those?
Again, I don't know about that. But what I know is that if this is upheld, it may become a copycat for future losing candidates. Future losing candidates may be, I don't want them to look to Pandai, to what happened to Pandai in their political planning next year or 4 years from this. I don't want a losing candidate to someone say, hey, you saw what happened in Pandai, right? They were losing and then they stormed the place and later, unfortunately, their party won power, then they got the ruling and say the power. I don't want that calculation and that game to come out at all. I said I don't know.
Think that the MPP will win
I said I don't know.
Rerun of Pandai seat?
I don't know.
Okay.
So clearly,
what do you think that they need to do now? Do we need to have the court uphold what the High Court's ruling is?
No, as we speak, the court decision is that there has to be a rerun. There has not been any court decision to overturn the High Court decision. So what the parties have to do is to prepare for a rerun. But I've said somewhere that I am ready to sue the New Patriotic Party should they withdraw from these elections. The last time in Tamale Central, they got away with it. We are practicing democracy. It's a win or lose. It's not any time that you go into an election and win. They must go into Pandai and contest. If they win, hallelujah, I'll be happy for them.
But will you file a candidate?
No, our party had not. We haven't gotten our final certificate. We were not part of the last elections. We would have contested. There is no seat in this country that election 2028. We will allow it to go. You have been running away from elections. Tamale Central.
So they have to contest.
No, if they don't contest, I will sue.
They are holding the seat.
No,
so if there's a rerun, automatically they should win.
Yindama has given up.
3,000 plus.
Oh, no. Look, if they don't get the way they will give them that gap.
When the DG was, so there was something the DG said that actually caught my eye, and I'm right. You said a situation when you were going to court, when they started really, somebody told you that it won't go your way, and you prepared your appeal.
Notice of appeal.
You know, a similar thing happened, and Nyandant lawyers too are saying the same thing. They are also saying that they also got intel that it won't go their way, and that they had their appeal in their pocket. I am saying there is something happening here.
Okay, so what they did say was that they made a claim that on the day of the ruling, the regional minister came alongside supporters of the NDC.
Good. And the same thing. And
but is it not logical?
What they didn't tell you is that the current Northern regional minister is our regional chairman. And
okay, he's the regional chairman.
The regional chairman elect of the NDC for Northern region. And the concomba by trial. Just as Nyindam and Insala, you understand? So they went there to give support. Moral support.
No, I'm saying today he's calling support. The point I'm making is that, but he made a point. I want us to see.
No, so I didn't see the reason why
his argument was
the whole idea that they were.
I want to even ask you whether you're going to win. You say you don't know. Everything about MPP, you are not running away from MPP.
This guy too kept his appeal in the pocket. Why are lawyers carrying?
If you are running away from you become a join the United Party, and you'll be free.
They had the opportunity.
No, you should join the United Party because that is running away from NPP.
Please, I have 12 minutes. Everybody.
But today you have actually taken my time, given it to Zebuji and then Edudzi.
NDC. All right.
No, because you don't have a candidate.
Okay, I have
but he is also running away from the candidate.
Please, I have 12 minutes.
Very well.
The health minister is making an argument that, well, a service zipline good, but after assessment, there's a monthly bill of $500,000 and he says for money, value for money purposes, he doesn't think that is substantial enough for us to continue handling the service. What do you make of this? The public opinion on Facebook and the rest is divided.
Yes, so this zipline contracts was then Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia from his office. In fact, it was one of the things that he touted as his legacy project.
Technology.
And I understand at that time, his chief of staff, Augustine Blay, something, was the lead person relative to this zipline conversation. Now, it is coming out. Honestly, I didn't even know the numbers. It is now coming out that we're doing either monthly 500 and something $1,000. That was the monthly payment. I'm sure they had negotiated and they knew the terms. And that there had not been proper value for money and all of those matters. The Minister for Health had made those claims on the floor and at public press conferences as well. I've also heard the minority leader make that proposition as well. The majority leader. I want to believe that as a company, they reserve every right to also come out and put the counterfacts before the public for all of us discerning people to make their informed mind. What I find a bit more curious was the fact that they were using the drones to deliver condoms, and among other things. And I thought I didn't see the emergency.
I have data to help.
I didn't see the emergency need.
I've published academic data and everything.
Emergency need on the issue of delivering condoms to communities. Honestly, I've been. Oh, why are you? Oh, you are distracting me now. You understand?
Did you have a minute?
My understanding was that they delivered blood as well. For me, that's emergency. Because sometimes when somebody needs blood at that critical moment, you have no other option than to have it done. And if the deployment of technology was going to help resolve and save somebody's life, I think it's good. But where that technology is to deploy condom, I mean...
It's not a lapse more of supervision than what the norm is, because the technology in reality, according to what we're told, has been experienced in Rwanda,
piloted in other countries. No, that is why I'm saying that the deployment of technology in every sphere of life to make life easier for our people should be commendable. And I'm not sure that the Minister of Health had given any indication that he is opposed to the use of technology for health delivery purposes. The understanding I get is the question of value for money, and that the 500 and something million, 1,000 Ghana cedis were paying monthly for the service, whether the value,
$500,
500,000 United States dollars commiserate with the service that is being delivered. I mean, one day can just
the company. The antagonism and the hostility towards zipline is because the NDC doesn't want to share credit with His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Oh, I don't.
Because it is an excellent shining example of a policy that has achieved international acclaim. So when they throw away this condom thing, it is to hide the actual facts on the life saved. Look, Zipline has delivered 17.3 million doses of vaccines. Zipline has submitted in Ghana.
Source.
It has submitted. I'm coming.
Now, why the source of this?
I'm telling you.
No. You are the public television. You are sending out data. I want to know the source.
Peer-reviewed, published academic journals.
So why from this source?
When you were talking,
yes, no, but he cannot.
Interjection. This last round.
All right.
They have delivered 17.3 million doses of vaccines. They have delivered 20,000 plus blood units. Almost every day. They have delivered 30,000 plus anti-snakes. Okay, they have just yesterday.
So
the United States. I'll send you.
No, let him. He's the host.
Source of the data.
I will send you the.
No, but how can you tell us after later you said it?
I'll send you. Source of
No,
data.
we want to
some of them are from one.
Yes.
Some of them are from Zipline's account. And some of them are from peer-reviewed academic journals.
And you know he's very close to the former vice president's office. So
the only reason why they are hostile towards this is because it is a success story in the quiver of the Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and they want to discredit. They want to take that.
Which success story?
Just yesterday, the United States government. Just yesterday, the United States government. Said they are going to $150 million to support Zipline in 5 African countries,
including
Ghana. Ghana now runs the largest.
So why are we paying for it? Or we're
so the question I'm asking is, if we are doing this, what are we telling the State Department? Are we telling them we don't need this money? Because here they are trying to give a lot of money to us. I just did some small rudimentary calculations. If you divide the $150 million over the 5 countries, if you just do that, that's about 30 million. But I know that because Ghana runs the largest and the biggest center,
more money will come to us.
Why are we? What are we communicating to the Americans? Okay. That we don't need the money, that we don't need the service. That's one thing too. If you understand that a lot of countries came and learned from Ghana. When was the last time you consider and say we have a policy in Ghana and that so many people came to
before Zipline was deployed in Ghana, it was already in Rwanda.
Yes.
So we rather went to learn.
So we went and then we expanded, we made it bigger because we ran the biggest one.
Because we're bigger than Rwanda.
Exactly, and we ran the biggest one. And right now Nigeria is learning, trying to get it done. They are bigger than us, just not bigger than us.
So Doc, your point
the bigger point I'm saying is that this Zipline has saved lives. Zipline has saved cost. Zipline has helped us. And right now, we have money literally sitting on the table. This US grant, we shouldn't walk away from it. We should not. If your problem is that you have to do some value for money things, you can do the value for money, but it shouldn't be seen as if when the Minister of Health starts by just saying condoms, why not? And I say condom, and so what? If one person is saved from getting HIV from these condoms, it's worth it. If one mother,
it's worth $500,000.
Yes, if one life is saved, if one mother is saved from,
it's public money.
But
you see,
yes.
No.
So what is the value you put on? What is the value you put on human life?
You are a policy person.
Yes, so I'm making.
What exactly was the policy gap that Zipline was supposed to resolve or bridge?
Access to remote areas.
Yeah. So I understand you.
The point is that when they throw in the
communities where they
can, it's a red herring. When the guy deliberately throws in the condom, it's a red herring. He's supposed to now make sure that, or it's trying to trivialize what Zipline is doing.
No, the condom use is not a trivial.
Exactly. So why you make it look like Zipline is just?
No, but I'm saying that in terms of
please allow Dr. Zaato to make this point.
Gentlemen, if it was delivering only condoms, if these condoms have saved the life of a teenage boy, a teenage girl, it's worth every money. If these condoms have saved the lives of HIV being transferred to the mother, the child is worth it. It's about lives.
Dr. Zaato,
sometimes that's what we do.
Dr. Zaato, throughout this conversation, even on the table, and even this morning, myself and Beatrice, everybody agrees the technology is good. But there is a point of disagreement with the cost of deploying the technology.
Good.
Okay. So the argument is not about, even if it delivers a condom, or so to speak, a non-essential health commodity, and even saves one life, that's not the point of the argument.
What's the point?
The holistic point of the argument is the trade-off, $500,000, and then how effectively Zipline deployed in Ghana has to be utilized. And so that's the point. So for example, you do know Professor Titus Bayu, was a former deputy general
he's the current board chairman for Kolebu.
Yeah, he's the member of Kolebu. Yes, nice guy.
And he says he's an experienced medical person.
Yes.
And he says that Zipline was delivering commodities that essentially were not part of their terms of reference to undertake. And that is a lapse. That will enable any health minister to say, look, pause. Let's do a proper re-evaluation. Re-evaluation doesn't mean that
an abrogation.
So, yes. So if I'm paying $500,000, committing taxpayers' money, $500,000 to you to provide a service, let's say to take me to Accra every morning, and you don't always take me to Accra, you leave me at Tetekwashi, and then I have to walk to Makola. Don't you think we have to reevaluate our contracts, even though I keep paying you every month? Is that not the thrust of the conversation?
In fact, I have information here that shows that even Amlodipin at the Senate, all those things, Zipline was actually distributed. And so they are, like you pointed out, it's about the priority area.
But they have medical stores available. Some places, like snake, is it vaccines?
Snake venoms.
Yes. So if you deploy that is essential.
Then let's do that. What you're saying, I agree with that. If it is about policy reform.
No, but you went on the tangent.
No, I didn't go on the tangent. He started by saying, I've told you that.
Dr. Zaato, cool down.
I am down. You're not always down.
No, you're too hot.
I'm not too hot.
The health minister has not mentioned Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yes.
He has not insulted Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
I didn't say he did.
He has not undertaken any act that so-called intends to bring down the reputation.
I have not said he has.
Exactly. What do you make of this?
Oh, I've not said he has.
So first of all,
he has.
when you decide to go and steal an idea, that's what happens. Even the idea of the Zipline did not emanate from Dr. Mahmoud, but he stole it. Dr. Thomas Mensah was the originator of it. And that office took over and did all the monetary aspect of it, and now it has become a problem. The same way he boastfully launched the metric app at the national service that now is a debacle. In the same way he brought the NAPCO that now is a walking cry. Everything that man touched, you remember the airport, the automated whatever, another disaster. You remember the digital address, a beauty. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's credentials in these matters, he does not deserve any praise anywhere. I'm here listening to my brother Zaato talk about the U.S. government wanted
$150 million support.
This Zipline, where is it coming from? Is it not from America?
Yeah.
As we speak, this whole program started in April of 2019. Is that not the case? Every month we were paying $528,000. By extension, if we were going to, as we were do the mathematics for the last 5 years, the country has expended $31 million. So what is this business of your $30 million? For that useless thing that we are doing, you are only. What are they doing? They are transporting condoms.
No, that's
the minister told you a couple of days ago that essential services to remote areas constitute only 12%. Emergency services only 4%. So these two put together is constitute only 16%.
You see, the minister said that would have given us any data.
But your data is coming from where?
He's the minister. He should be able to tell you.
But the minister told you. If I tell you 12%, it's not data.
The minister, he allow Solo from
you understand? So this Zipline thing, and I have not heard any counter argument from the Zipline. What I heard their MD say is that look, if they transport items, you can have at least one condom in there. That is to confirm what the minister is saying. In any case, before Zipline came, were we not transporting condoms to these areas? How were we doing it?
It's hard to reach.
Which area is hard to reach?
From place.
This $31 million, couldn't we have used it to construct roads to access these areas? The $31 million that by my calculation, according to the contract we have expended, couldn't we have used it to construct good roads to these so-called hard-to-reach areas? Or buy pontoons and so on and so forth? It's a lazy attitude. It's something that people want to chop. And when they want to chop, when they want to spend your money, they give you beautiful nuances around it. That is the best thing in the first of it in Africa. Is this in Africa? Is that in Africa? Only to be told that we are using it to, as it were, transport condoms.
The minister said,
what's your decision? Do you think that we need to continue with this, but evaluate the cost? No. He hasn't said he's abrogating. He said it's costing us this much, so we need to take a relook.
So maybe the parties.
You see,
what do you think we need to do?
When we talk about condoms,
we can restructure it.
Already I'm having a problem with the condom seller. Celia Chris, we are not doing condom business this morning. What I'm saying is that for them to be using a Zipline to be transporting condoms, it's not enough.
It's an abnormality.
It's absolutely. Condoms will always find its way to the remote areas, not through Zipline. We don't need that. What the minister told us on the floor of Parliament was that no money was going to come from the consolidated fund to fund this Zipline business. So why all of a sudden we are drawing from the consolidated fund? That means that the minister must up the game by exposing those that
tweak the contract like
exactly for us to be drawing from the consolidated fund, and then we prosecute them.
oh, but you're providing a
The former minister of health, he is so quiet of late. Ajimamenu.
no, but you're providing a
Have you forgotten about him?
If you exceed the areas,
Ajimamenu. Have you forgotten about him?
Should the government accept the money from
Food
the US?
TV,
Should we accept the
airport,
money?
and now
Should we accept the zip line money?
No.
the way we have already expended $12 million.
so do you think we should continue or not continue?
They should continue, but they should go into the contract, tweak it very well,
Exactly.
and then make sure that all those that have shortened, yes,
Minister-
we take our monies back and prosecute those that have stolen from us.
Has
You are for that?
Minister,
Yes.
has Minister Kwabna Minta Akando stated anywhere that government intends to abrogate the zipline contract? I have
yet.
not heard so.
No.
What he has
You only
said,
say it's costing the
that
taxpayer.
we need to do value for money assessment, and that on the basis of that assessment, if we believe that you can provide this service, but when you go and deliver condoms, don't bring hold on.
They are only delivering condoms.
Don't bring us
the majority leaders,
don't bring us
he says they should scrap it all.
a payment voucher for us to pay you for having
Mama Yariga, he
delivered.
said they should scrap it all.
Who gives,
And
see,
that
who
it
gives
should
them
be
the
strictly, I am just saying that at this point, it's contractual. Government of Ghana, which binds government of Ghana, right? So what is important is that the parties, government of Ghana represented by the minister, the company and his rep, will sit down and do reassessment of the entire project.
Exactly.
And be clear in our minds that Zipline is supposed to fill in a gap, access gap, and that it should be purely on emergency basis. By so doing, maybe the monthly $500,000 may come back to $100,000
Okay.
or
With the
$200,000.
support-
That's why there's a lot of chop. There's a lot of chop
When
in
you,
there.
when you hear condom, it is a way to trivialize the policy.
No. But that's the issue.
You are not leading with snake.
Why you are
That's
giving
You are not leading
your
with
data?
balance.
Did you mention anything about condom?
What we should do
I
is
have
that
this-
what
your
we should
data
do-
is
what we
suspect.
should
I have
do
this
is
one
that
from
let's accept
Your
the
data is suspect.
Abaniawa. I know that Felicia lives in overseas, where we call her from plains. And so she appreciates Zipline and its usage or not. So he says, "Hey, Zaato." And Felicia says, "Hey, Zaato." And then I have Seth also says that
Is that good or
the
bad?
Honorable Akando says Zipline delivered 12% essential services, 4% emergency services. The rest were condoms, school uniforms, educational materials.
That's it. That's the minister speaking.
It was supposed to be free for the government of Ghana at the onset. By the
So
turnout,
this one
that the GOG
calls
was
to
now
question your
paying
data.
$88,000 for each of the 6 centers every month. Ghana was going to get it from the Michigan state of the United States for free.
Interesting.
And okay. And then I have this one from
So if I
No, so-
understand,
yes.
if I
So we are asking
understand,
this.
what is
So we are
supposed
saying this.
what is supposed to be
Please.
free?
So did this
What
money
is
that
supposed
has
to
now
be free?
become
Today's not
something
even-
that we are paying for.
We are not extending this one.
So I mean, you've been in power for
Dr.
one year.
Zaato,
What do you say to
Dr.
that?
Sefa says, Dr. Zaato saying condom is an emergency. Is Dr. Zaato saying condom is an emergency medicine?
That's what he's saying.
Condom can be.
that's
It
what
can be.
he's
It
saying.
can be.
Ah,
A
yeah,
condom can
condom.
be an emergency.
Emergency
Masa,
what?
Masa, it can be an emergency. A condom can prevent HIV/AIDS, and HIV is an emergency. A condom can be an emergency.
Oh, Jaja, look what you
A
see.
condom
You see
can be
where
an emergency.
you see where he's leading us to.
It is
condom
settled
can
on
be
the
an
part of
emergency.
Zaato.
Emergency for
Condom
your
is
wife,
an
for
emergency.
emergency for your
I didn't say it's an emergency. I say
On
it
the
can.
ɔhu sɛ de bia yɛka MPP fo asɛm a ayɛ na obi hwɛ mega a ɔbɛdwen sɛ ebia mega meyɛ obi a sɛbi mempɛ MPP fo asɛm anyɛ MPP fo na mega mempɛ ɔmo asɛm o. Besides, I've said this on several occasions sɛ Dr. Alhaji Bawumia ɛyɛ mebusuani anka m'ani gye ho. Yewura Kufuor ɛyɛ me nana a nka mepɛ papapapa because for anything else and as for nothing else koraa no watumi abɛyɛ president a sɛbi wabɔ ne bra nso ɛti nka mepɛ. But this is the case. Aside everything no, we all know say the kind of leadership a NPP for we baso a omodi ebema Ghana for no. In fact, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, and we all saw it. Ye na ye hu ye. Ye hu amamu omu bebu no okurum ha. Ye hu sebi niema bi omu beye no okurum ha. To the extent say edru baby kra no na Ghana for kasa na omu twa omu adapa. Minister timi gina TV so na otwa adapa. Minister timi ka say meye we kra na ma adwen eni ho. A whole lot of issues. And ye den a poppy bar bon montin so. We saw everything with these kulu eyes. Ye hu bibia ukurum ha. But ye na ye betina say na ye dia dance say for the past 10 months the kurum ha ay stable and kurum ha ay sebi. Enso eto ewo nimbre mu awiabo ewo nimbre mu sebi niema bibia sisi ne wana kwan so. NPP apenso na nso nto. Enso kura to akakra bi na hwew na watwa. But the name yetimi hu sampa eniema ekoyie. Yetimi hu sampa eniema ejina na kwan so. Yetimi hu sampa bibia eden ejina ne nan so. Because of amamu papa. Because of what? Amamu papa. It is a NPP for jina baby. Now mokase oh jamahame yesi ya. It's really sad and it baffles me a lot. Say your mom will say kwanyano na moment mi anye den anye. Your mom will say kwanyano na moment mi anye. Na enei mu yonku mu yemba ko kwanom. Yewra John Germany Mahama. And in Crawford, look at how they are what resetting this country. With the war mu yedin omo reset Ghana. With the war mu yedin edi nemu egugu na akwa mu. And now inflation rates and now dollar rates. The can dollar rate and then go for yeah mo sa. Masa senka dollar no osra enka Christmas we obetin ko for ano. And the President John Mahama moderating Nema. Wa moderating Nema to the extent so your boga we send this kakakra unso mubedru to the extent say unso wa Ghana dollar ne embitiu. Wo Ghana dollar ne ngedin emma sidi ni emma ho nkyero enehwe. Se wo ho eye 11.34 Ghana cedis 11 cedis 34 pesos. You get me right? It was $1 no. But ya no mu ya adebio mu ye dede debio mu ye say omu kasi ne hwan ne Mahama eze ma. Remember MDC4 it wasn't part of their manifesto. It wasn't part of their campaign messages. It wasn't part of what their policies said they will stabilize this economy. When it comes to the dollar rate, they will what? Bring it down. But abusiafo, and we all can see, yenya obiba jeki, yenya obiba jeki, ana obon huesi akwa. Professor Adubuahin, Professor Bafojan, Professor Hwan, what a solid team. Abusiafo ni na nkusi aga. Solid team o, liquid team o, gas team o ni na nkusi aga. But then when I say NDC for bo omo the economic management team omo bo bidin say masa we ya dem masa we NDC ni bi akogina we bi ka say Dr. Atuforsen Dr. Ayi Andrew Sesiama ono ye we no Bank of Ghana we mo fanche say manya mo fanche no governor no obo ni din na obo ada people in the finance ministry and the what and the economic sector. And I say economic sector now we the obo mwabaso. But yet they are working, yet they are making sure say the economy will be stabilized. It will be MPP ni na alternatives no ogat oda so wa yɛka sɛ economy ni nya aya na bibisa ɔmo so ɔmo yɛ maboyɛfo anase ɛwɔ sɛ yɛkɔ Tanzania baabi ni kotwa nsase mom na ɔmo ne ɔmo kɔtena because we don't need them in this country. They are nation wreckers. They don't think about this country. They don't have any good intention for this country. They only want power. Omu petumi na de bia omu TV 18 pɔɔpɛn dada bɔ abɛn pipipi dada bɔ abɛn pipipi na omu yɛ na omu ni ebodi omu akyi oh member of parliament MP honorable assemblyman honorable president vice hwane na omu ayɛ de omu akonkom omu bɛti na omu ne na ayɛ so saa na omu ne na ayɛ so saa but as to say omu bɛtena se na omu bɛgye Ghana esi hɔ no deɛ it wasn't part of finance. It is not part of their priority. Abusia, bibinti, bidobisi. Let's also document beton. Now I like now I share now for any biafenti. Solomon Owusu the top notch analyst. Won't even find hon to tono ye den masa. Or no the ban analysis obey the amount. Inti wa when it ya. Okay, how waiting me falling down all the year pundits, including a year what do you call it? Ura ya ifeno. Dr. Zaato, what you saying, you know. Owusu die Solomon Owusu wabin kyerɛ wadwen wɔ comment section ni makra papa